All right, today, guys, we have our first episode in a 4-part series of new faces in new places. We're going to be talking about today the quarterbacks and tight ends that were free agents, went into new teams. We're going to talk about how they affect everybody around them. Let's go.
Guys, don't forget to like, share, subscribe across all social media platforms. Frankly, Fantasy Football, we love you. Let's do it.
All right. Welcome to the show. This is the Frankly Fantasy Football Podcast. We are your hosts, Frankie and Johnny. All right, Frank, today, you know what we got going on today. We've got our first in a 4-part series of new faces in new places. This is one of my favorite series we do every single year. Right before your drafts, we're going to talk about all these guys that are on new teams. And what I love about this, Frank, is that we can break down the entire offense. It gives us a chance to really dig into these teams, especially with quarterbacks. That's what we're talking about today, quarterbacks, tight ends. When you get a new starting quarterback, man, it changes the fantasy value and outlook of every single piece on that team, you know?
Yes, sir.
All right, so today, Frank, we only got a few here, but there's a couple of guys we need to talk about. Now, this is the first one in our series. Not a lot of huge implications for fantasy with some of these quarterbacks, but when we get into running backs and receivers, guys, that's going to be valuable info. We're actually 1 running back episode and 2 receiver episodes. There are so many good receivers on new teams. Yeah, we're going to break them all down here. All right, Frank, let's get to our first guy here, our first quarterback. Actually, this quarterback should be drafted in Superflex leagues, no question about it. Redraft, single quarterback, probably not, but we need to know about him here. It's going to change the effect of some of these receivers on this team. Kyler Murray, Frank. From the Cardinals, Kyler Murray now looking like he's going to be the starter over J.J. McCarthy in Minnesota with the Vikings, okay? Talk to us a little bit about Kyler Murray. What did he do last year? What are you expecting him to do this year? And then we'll get into kind of what it does with J.J. and some of the other receiving options around.
Totally. Guys, listen up. So last year, Kyler Murray, when he was on the Cardinals, he really only played 5 games. And so with that, he actually averaged those 16 points a game in fantasy football. But where did he finish overall? He was actually quarterback 38 due to the injuries. Now, here's what's fascinating. When we look at this particular year, his ADP is floating right around QB 17. So it's really only 5 spots above a true QB1. Being like a top 12, right? Or technically, if you're in a 10 team, it's like 7 spots. So, but John, it's very fascinating because there's a true quarterback competition. Now, you mentioned it though, especially over the last few days in training camp. Absolutely, Kyler Murray has gotten more snaps for first team than that of J.J. McCarthy. But let me tell you, man, Kyler Murray, for the first time in his career, I really feel like he has to fight for his job or fight for the opportunity. And man, what an awesome chance with a Kevin O'Connell offense with these assets that he has around him to really show a resurgence possibility for that of Kyler.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, that's the main reason why I think he's okay to me because of Kevin O'Connell. I'm a huge Kevin O'Connell fan. I just love the way he is a quarterback whisperer. We've seen him revive Sam Darnold for Christ's sake. And then
Nick Mullins.
Exactly. So I'm not that concerned. We've seen Kyler Murray. He's got talent. I don't think he's that great of a quarterback, but when we're talking about fantasy here, so when he's got the rushing floor like he has, late round quarterbacks, especially in a super flex, I don't mind if you punt on quarterback for your second QB in a super flex league. I don't mind waiting till the end and picking up Kyler Murray. I really don't, man. As long as he's playing 16 games, 15, 16, 17 games, then I think you're going to get a nice floor out of him here. 2024, he played 17 games, 3,800 passing yards. 2 years before that, he had 3,800, 39, 37. He can do it. It is absolutely possible. Now, the only time I'm taking Kyler Murray, let's be very clear, QB 2 or 3 in a super flex.
Yeah,
that's it. Now, Frank, talk a little bit about the receiving core here. Now, what is this going to do for your redraft? You're looking at Justin Jefferson in round 2-ish, right? So what are we doing here, man?
Guys, I think that finally, it seriously feels this way for Justin Jefferson. Finally, there's something competent outside of Kirk Cousins when he was there. And so for me, man, I think that you can get Justin Jefferson at an absolute steal in your draft. People forget that this dude in half PPR was putting up 300 total points a year. We've seen it. We've seen him. Guys, there's actually possibility that he may be the best receiver, not in fantasy football, but in general in the NFL. He's up there with Jamar Chase. He's up there with Puka. And in my opinion, man, he might be the true one in the NFL. And it just so happens his quarterback play has been not only dog shit, it's been abysmal. So for me, man, I think that if you guys are in the back half of the first round, absolutely you should be targeting JJ. It's a mega value, right? And then you start looking at, okay, well, what happened with Addison? What's going on with Jalen Naylor? Addison's still there. He's still supplanted as the number 2 receiver. But from a Jalen Naylor perspective, man, he's actually been shipped off, which we'll talk about very briefly in the receiver episode, to that of the Raiders. So now that left a bit of a gap in receiver 3, which is where they brought on, which is another guy we'll touch on, Juwan Jennings. So from a receiver perspective, man, for me, looking at it through the lens of, okay, Kyler Murray is at the helm here, and through a fantasy football lens, it's JJ and nothing else. I'm actually not even targeting Addison. For me, I know he can explode. We've seen his explosiveness over the last few years. But for me, guys, I just struggle with it. I think that there's a bit more. I would rather take flyers on other teams than that of actually going towards more of an Addison play perspective. Same thing with Juwan Jennings, man. I just think that he could be a guy. He could be a very interesting flex piece in a 16-team league. If that's something you want to take in your last 2 rounds, fine. But the reality is he's probably going to go undrafted in most leagues. So for me, man, knowing Kyler Murray's at the helm, knowing what he's been able to do in the past with teams like, or with players like D-Hop, etc., he goes to that 1A guy. He's the guy. And then also, he tends to target the tight end. So, John, this could actually bolster TJ Hockenson back to where we saw him when he came from the Lions to then the Vikings. So for me, this is super exciting to actually see a player caliber of that of Kyler Murray with the skill set that he has. Again, former number 1 overall pick. Guys, that's not a fluke here. We've seen him perform very well. We've seen him also be injured and things like that. But for me, this is a year that Kyler Murray needs to get right in order for the longevity of his NFL career to happen.
Yeah, and with JJ specifically, I mean, now he's the wide receiver 6 in ADP at the moment. I'm warming up to that. I was nervous about him. And as you go through and look at JJ over the years here, I mean, there was a time up until last year that we said JJ was quarterback proof.
Literally.
Because he was. He had proven us to that, that. Last year kind of showed us he's not quarterback proof. So I know
it was a Michigan quarterback, John. That's all I'm saying. It took a Michigan quarterback to take down the number 1 receiver in the NFL.
That's true. That is true. I will hold my head on that one. Yeah. But, you look at JJ from the past couple of years here, he still had 141 targets last year. Now, they were garbage targets because he only had 84 catches. The year before that, he had 154, so only like 10, 12 more targets, but he had 103 catches. So it's just the difference of quality of quarterback play. They weren't connecting, He dropped 500 yards last year, and he went from 10 touchdowns to 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
That's quarterback play, man. That's just what it is, So I do see that increasing. I don't know if he's going to get back to 10 touchdowns like he did in 24, 1,500 yards. Right, but he had 1,000 yards last year, and it really felt gross,
Totally.
1,000 yards and 2 touchdowns for JJ, that's a lost year,
Lost year.
So we can get those close to double-digit touchdowns, get back up to the 8-10 range, maybe get to 1,200 yards, a couple hundred more than last year. I think that's in the realm of possibility, and I think that will make you feel so much better about JJ. But bottom line, I'm warming up to JJ here with Kyler Murray seeming like he's going to be the starter. Real quick on the running backs, all right? Word coming out of camp right now, they want to run the ball with this team, which I don't blame them, all right? You're not going to put the game in Kyler Murray's hands necessarily. He does make some mistakes. He does turn the ball over, tries to extend it a little too much sometimes. They're going to try to get it out of his hands quickly. Does this do anything for you for Jordan Mason and for Aaron Jones?
Guys, I think Jordan Mason is a freaking steal right now. Like,
I do too.
I mean, literally, John, where's he going? Like round 10? Round 11?
Yeah.
Really? I
mean,
from his
super
ADP?
cheap, but he is going to be the starting running back for this team.
Exactly, man.
I think he's a huge value.
I think he's an absolute value. I think if you end up going hero RB strategy or you go zero RB strategy, this
Yeah.
is a guy that you can pin in as a potentially your running back 3. I think that's something that you can absolutely look to do. Should you go heavy receiver? Should you go heavy receiver, tight end, quarterback, and then you start hitting some of those running backs, and then you go back to the well at receiver, et cetera, depending how your league is built out. Man, you could be sitting on this cat and really have an opportunity to get somebody who could have 800 yards rushing, 8 rushing touchdowns, 200 yards receiving. And you're sitting there really excited about that for where the value is that you drafted him. So for me, man, this only helps because last year when we saw Jordan Mason, I mean, the box was stacked. All you needed to do was really double team JJ. You knew the quarterback wasn't going to be able to get the ball really to Addison. And so for me, man, then what are you going to do? You're just going to key in on the running back. So from a fantasy perspective, not only would Kyler Murray helps from a receiver perspective, for me, John, he's going to absolutely help with opening up the running back play too.
I agree. If you're looking, you did punt on running back. This is something keep in the back of your mind as your draft develops. If you're feeling like I don't have enough running backs, remember, late in the draft, you got J.K. Dobbins, you got Jordan Mason. These are going to be guys that will get volume on their teams. So just keep those things in mind that if you do start to freak out, don't worry. There are 2 guys later in the draft. You may have to jump up around and grab them, but know that they're there. That's really, really good value.
The one thing that I wanted to call out, guys, is schedule. Then the reason that this is massively important is because when you look at the first 5 games, let's say you draft Kyler Murray, let's say you go with maybe a Jordan Mason to start, maybe you go with a Justin Jefferson in the back half of the first round. Here is the first 5 games to get you off to a hot start. At home versus Green Bay, at Chicago, at Tampa, Miami at home, and then New Orleans. Guys, for me, there's so much meat on that bone to be able to have fantasy value from these players. So, John, I just wanted to call that out because these are not super stellar defenses here. These are guys that are middle of the road at best. And when you look at Green Bay, especially, I mean, they lost Quay Walker. They lost a few others. When you look at Chicago, they've been down. They're actually the number 1 team, hypothetically, to actually regress. They're literally the number 1. And so then you look at Tampa Bay, they're down in terms of defense. Shit, Vita Vea wants to be traded. And then Miami, I mean, they're literally positioning for number 1, number 2 overall pick. So guys, when you're splitting hairs between some of these players when you're drafting them, keep in mind the schedule for at least the first 5 games. It's going to give you a really solid sample size. And my God, the Vikings have an excellent starting schedule.
Gotta love that 4th place in the division schedule, right, baby?
There it is. Right.
All right, let's get to the next guy here. And I think some of you, for the first time, maybe even realizing this is going to be the starting quarterback for the Dolphins. It's Malik Willis coming from the Packers to the Dolphins. All right, we're not going to spend tons of time here, Frank, but there is some fantasy value on this team.
There is.
Where is it going to be? And is it from Malik Willis? How is he going to affect it?
So here's the deal, guys. There is really one person on this team that you're going to be targeting early, and it's Devon Achane. He's going to get the dump offs. He's certainly going to be the guy that is the focal point of this particular offense. There's 2 different rooms of thought here, John, and this is what we've seen and heard, and this is what we've also thought. There's a lot of people that are like, I'm actually staying away from Devon Achane because all the defenses are going to do is just key on him. There's no way he's going to be able to replicate what he did last year. Okay. The other camp is there is nobody else, and he's going to get the lion's share of the load. So get his ass because he's going to get every opportunity known to man. So for me, I'm actually in that camp. I'm in the latter. I'm targeting Devon Achane because of what we've seen the last few years, because of his extension that he's got, because of the receivers here, John, that, I mean, let's call space made. I think this could be the worst receiving core on an NFL paper I've ever seen.
It might be.
We're talking Malik Washington is starting slot. You have Tutu Atwell on the outside paired with Jalen Tolbert. That is their starting 3. Okay. And then you got Chris Bell, who's hurt. Again, I think he's going to be a stud, but it's going to take till October to maybe he sees the field. And then you got Caleb Douglas. You also got Kevin Coleman Jr. Again, these are rookies, guys. So for me, man, when looking at this, John, there's one guy, and it's Devon Achane, and it's with a silver bullet. And the rest, yeah, Malik Willis. look, he's going to be taken in Superflex leagues because of his rushing floor. Like, there is something there in what we've seen with, I mean, I go back to that Baltimore game last year, man. When Green Bay was playing Baltimore, that's how he got this contract. If he can replicate any of that, I mean, there is some certain value there for Superflex for deep leagues. I would actually position Malik Willis, man. If I'm in this shoes and I do draft him, I'm absolutely going another quarterback very closely after this in a Superflex league, and I may look to actually trade Malik Willis once he ends up popping off for a game or two. That would be my strategy moving forward with Malik.
Now, do you see, when you talk about Achane, I mean, he's going as a running back 10 right now.
Yeah.
All right, so you're looking at, the turn early second round, looking at picking up Achane. Are you expecting him to kind of repeat what he did last year? And specifically, I'm talking about the receiving. I mean, the receiving was pretty out of control with 85 targets. Actually, the past 2 years, he's had 87 and 85 targets.
It's crazy.
Do we see that continuing? I mean, it has to, I would think, with this receiving core, right?
John, it would have to. It's going to have to. Now, what we also may see occur, which few folks are actually talking about, is we could also see more of an emergence as well from Ollie Gordon. And maybe some from Jalen Wright, because maybe they'll actually look to use some of that brute force with some of that lightning, right? It's almost like a poor man's Sonic and Knuckles, RIP.
Yeah.
So for me, man, I think that he is going to seize that target share. The question is he going to be as effective? And that's what I don't know, because there's not Jalen Waddle on the outside. There's not Darren Waller. There's not Tyreek Hill. Like we're saying, like, you went from literally eating at, Hyde Park here to going to McDonald's. That's kind of the difference in the caliber of receivers on this team at this point. So for me, man, I do think that the target share is absolutely going to beat there. What he is able to accomplish with that target share, I don't know if it's going to be the level of last year. But for me, man, I'm still targeting his ass.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that makes me a little nervous is you may see Ollie Gordon on the goal line.
Big time, yeah.
If you're stealing goal line carries from Achane, listen, there's not going to be a lot of them. They're not going to be at the goal line a lot in this team, So that's the thing that makes me nervous. So it could be a bit of a regression for Achane, but I still think he's going to get that volume. He had 238 carries as a running back last year. The year before was 203. It may be more similar to 2024. I still think the receiving is going to be there. But I think we have to temper expectations on the volume of carries. I think they will get Ollie Gordon more involved just to run between the tackles and save Achane's body, really,
Totally.
So it's really going to be up to the touchdowns, which could be a little volatile for him. So anybody on this team you're taking a dart throw, are you looking at Malik Washington at all as a dart throw at receiver?
Totally. Guys,
somebody's got to catch the ball. There's going to be targets,
Literally, somebody has to. And what we saw is Malik Washington started to emerge at the end of last year. Now, again, that was with Tua. Candidly speaking, man, nobody really knows what Malik Willis is going to be able to do. He came out of Liberty, and there's a ton of hype around him. But what we've seen is he's been better as a backup, and he developed a lot, though, at the Packers. It almost feels like a pseudo poor man's Jordan Love kind of approach, to where Jordan Love sat behind for a while, and then he ended up coming back, starting over Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers left out the whole thing. It kind of feels that way, but not to that level. Jordan Love is on a little bit different of a perspective, or a little different tier, But for me, man, yeah, somebody, you got to throw a dart throw here, and it probably is Malik Washington. For me personally, I'm actually leaning more Tutu Atwell. I just think that it actually mixes a bit more with Malik Willis's style. The other call out here, guys, is tight end. Greg Dulcich. Remember that name. What we have seen and heard from camp is, dude, he's doing really well. And on top of it, he was kind of the talk of the town in Denver before Evan Ingram went there and things like that. So for me, man, you're not drafting Greg Dulcich. That's a guy that you're going to be looking, if you're streaming on a week-to-week basis, that's a guy that you can see kind of getting some of those really cool streams like we seen last year, maybe with Juwan Johnson or Hunter Henry, etc. It could be kind of similar there, but again, man, somebody has to catch the freaking ball. So take a flyer on one of these guys. This is very similar to the Raiders offense, to where it's Jack Beck, Trey Tucker, Jalen Naylor. Take a flyer on one of those guys. You could hit gold.
Somebody's going to be his favorite target. Yep. Somebody's going to be just hyper-targeted, most likely. Yep. So could be a waiver wire pick, too. One of these guys may be the darling of week one.
Yeah.
When you see a big touchdown or something, All right, let's get to, we touched on it a bit. The next guy we're going to talk about is Tua Tagovailoa leaving the Dolphins, now on the Falcons. Now, this is kind of interesting, and it's a little different scenario than Malik Willis because Malik Willis came from Green Bay, learned with a good offense, a good offensive-minded coach, excellent receivers surrounding him, and then went to Miami. He has the opposite of that. They have a new coaching regime. They have zero talent at receiver around him. Not interested in Malik Willis for that aspect. Tua is a different story. Tua's walking into, we've seen Tua have success. We've seen Tua be, with Tyreek,
Really
the
good.
best stack in the NFL.
Really good.
Right? We're talking fantasy, not NFL quarterbacks here. Fantasy football. He provided value for fantasy.
Totally.
Tua now is going from a team with just Devon Achane. Now he's got some talent around him. You got Drake London, you've got Bijan, and you've got Kyle Pitts. So he's got some options here. This one's a little more interesting to me because you can't take Drake London in the first, second round. You can't take Kyle Pitts in middle rounds. You got Bijan 101, 102. The quarterback's got to come into play here. So what are you thinking, man?
For me, man, I actually like this. I think Tua in a super flex league could be very sneaky as long as he continues to, number one, stay healthy, and number two, fight off Michael Penix. That's the big things. But we are very familiar with the style of offense that Kevin Stefanski has run historically.
Yeah.
And there's three big things that really pop. Number one is it's running back central. It is running back central, whether it's dump offs, power run, counter, that kind of ploy, that's going to happen. Number two is tight ends feast in his offense.
Yes, they do.
And so when you think about Tua and had the success that he had with Darren Waller, and now you have a way younger Darren Waller in his prime that just got paid in Kyle Pitts, guys, you guys laughed at me before when I said it. Laugh at me now. I'm salivating. I want that shit. I want every bit and piece. We're pitting out again this year, baby. So I'm all about it, John. And then when you think about, okay, Tua, when he was at his peak, it was the 1A. His 1A receiver thrived. Whether that was Waddle, whether that was Tyreek, at that point in time, they thrived. So for me, man, fire up Drake London. Now, it is going to be slightly different than what we've seen, but if we're being honest with ourselves, last year, when you look at what the Falcons had at quarterback, I don't know if it could be much worse this year.
It was bad.
It was really bad. Kirk Cousins performed like shit. Penix was terrible. And then they got hurt. So when you think about Tua stepping in, clean slate, good weapons, Stefanski-style offense to where it's really quarterback-friendly, to where it's a lot of rollouts, a lot of play action, man, I don't know. I think Tua could be very fucking interesting as long as he stays healthy. And I think that this offense could be a little sneaky and really be better than what people actually think.
I think so too. I mean, Stefanski is a quarterback whisperer as well. I mean, look what he was able to do with Baker Mayfield. I mean, that was a big piece of that. So,
or Joe Flacco. I mean, look at that.
Joe Flacco,
You
exactly.
know what I mean?
Yeah. So I don't hate it. Now, when we're talking drafting for fantasy, I'm fine with the talent around him: London, Bijan, Kyle Pitts. Fire them up. I'm totally good with these guys. I think they can have an even better season than they did last year. When you talk about actually Tua and having Tua on your actual team, here's what I would do. I would take Tua. I would consider Tua if I waited and punted on my QB2 and Superflex.
Yeah.
And I have Drake London or Kyle Pitts.
That's
where I would do it. Or even Bijan for that matter. There's going to be a lot of touchdowns from Bijan taking a swing pass from the 20-yard line and running it in. That's going to happen a lot. So if you've got one of the big three on this team, I'm fine with punting on quarterback for your second QB in a Superflex and grabbing Tua and having a nice little stack there. Could surprise you. It really could.
I love it. And guys, take it a step further. John, we've been talking so much about redraft. Guys, also in best ball, if you're psychos like me that do a shitload of ridiculous best ball leagues, guys, this is a really interesting third QB for your best ball team, especially if you have a stack opportunity. Guys, again, everything Johnny and I are saying, we're not saying Tua is a guy in a one quarterback league. I'm not even saying he's a guy that you're drafting in a one quarterback league. He's not going to be rostered. Our point is in a two quarterback league or a super flex, that's where the value starts coming into play. And it's, John, I love your call out with the stack too. So really, it's going to be fun, man. I think that the Falcons, again, could be sneaky good this year. I think that it's going to be a lot of fun to see how this offense rolls out. And keep in mind, one other guy I just want to put on the radar here is rookie Zachariah Branch out of Georgia. We called it in our rookie review. We just, sprinkled it in a bit. Guys, everything coming out of camp is this cat's the real deal. So my point in saying this is you're not going to draft him as well, but keep him in mind from a streaming perspective. He will be somebody who could be someone for your fantasy team. All right. And John, one other thing too, man, like not only talking about Zachariah Branch, we have to then discuss whether it's Tua, Drake London, Bijan, Kyle Pitts, is the schedule. Guys, when you look at the first 9 games, I'm going to list it off here. At Pittsburgh, interesting. Not saying it's easy. I'm saying it's interesting. Carolina, favorable. Green Bay, favorable. New Orleans, interesting. Baltimore, interesting. Now we got Chicago, San Francisco, Tampa Bay, Cincinnati. Guys, that's the first 9. That is very solid in terms of potential output from a fantasy perspective. So for me, man, we're not seeing the Rams. We're not seeing Seattle. You're not seeing Houston. You're not seeing Denver there, which means there could be some points being put up on the board.
Yeah, their schedule all year long, nothing terrifies you. Of course, they play a couple of good teams, but again, having that schedule that they've got, it's favorable.
Big.
Yeah, I mean, it's not something where I see Tua just getting absolutely murdered, So, I love it, man. All right, let's move on here, Frank. The next quarterback we've got, it's a Geno Smith. We've seen a roller coaster ride with this guy. Geno Smith, coming from the Raiders, going to the Jets, absolutely will be the starter. Seems like he's good, right? We had a few legal things with him, but it looks okay, Frank, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to us a little bit about Geno Smith, and this is another team. What do we do? There's maybe 1 or 2 guys on this offense that I even like. Who are they, and what are we doing?
Guys, Geno Smith, you're not even going to worry about drafting him in 1 quarterback leagues. He's definitely going to be drafted, though, in 2 quarterback leagues or super flexes as a QB2 or QB3. So here's the deal. Last year, people were like, yeah, terrible year. You suck, man, all this stuff. He finished QB23. Could have been way worse, okay? So let's be super honest with ourselves. Again, it was a shit year. I'm not going to back him by any means. But from a fantasy perspective, we've seen worse. His current ADP is right around QB 29. So again, guys, I mean, literally QB2, QB3 territory. But here's what's fascinating is that the Jets went all in on offense. They really did. When you look at their first round picks, they took Kenyon Sadiq, which we talked about, John, in our rookie review episode, quarterbacks and tight ends. Guys, check it out. It's really awesome. Okay, right there. And then in addition to this, man, then you trade up into the first round to get Omar Cooper Jr. from your Indiana Hoosiers.
That's right.
So for me, man, you pair now those 2 cats with a Garrett Wilson, you paid Breece Hall, and then you also have Adonai Mitchell and Mason Taylor. Look, man, I'm not going to say the Jets are going to be great. They're going to be top 3 worst teams in the NFL. Yeah. My perspective on it. I mean, their defense is just bad. But for me, man, when looking at Geno Smith, there are assets around him that could actually maybe get him into the teens from a quarterback play perspective, meaning QB 18, QB 17. And at that point, guys, that's where Kyler Murray's being drafted right now. So my point is there could be some sneaky value in a 2 quarterback or a super flex league if Geno Smith, if we can see what he was 2 years ago and we can apply that to this year for the Jets, we could see some interesting value, which could be kind of fun.
Now, when we're talking fantasy of this team, I mean, this team is very similar to the Browns. They're playing for next year to grab that quarterback.
Definitely.
They're putting talent around. This year, what can we do with this talent on the Jets? I mean, in my mind, it's almost Garrett Wilson or bust, and I'm not really looking at anybody else. What are you looking at? Mainly the tight ends. Is Kenyon Sadiq, we talked about it about a month ago when we did the rookie review. Some things have changed now. It's still early August, so we don't have a ton of answers, but is Kenyon Sadiq even a guy you could consider, or is this going to be a waiver wire darling come week 5, 6, 7?
Guys, he's going to be a waiver wire darling. Here's why. Number 1, he's going through a hernia issue today. Like literally actively. It is August 8th, August 9th, whatever the hell it is, John. It's at this point in time, early August, he has a hernia issue. It's a problem. So whether he's going to need surgery, whether he's going to work through it, that's going to affect him. So which means that he's going to innately drop an ADP a bit or stay where he is, and probably people are going to avoid him. So for me, man, absolutely has a mega opportunity to be a waiver wire darling. So keep him on your radar. You're more than likely not going to draft him unless you're in a league like we are, to where it's a 14-team league, tight end boost, that kind of thing. Then yeah, you can make a case of, okay, maybe I do want a backup tight end, and why not take a flyer on this rookie who's absolutely sensational. So absolutely. I agree with you, though. When we start looking at the other assets around, who is really the only person, guys, it's Garrett Wilson. Yeah. Now, you can make an argument, in my opinion, for Breece Hall. They paid his ass and everything along those lines. And where he's being drafted, guys, yeah, he more than likely may need to be your running back one. I'm not going to sit here and lie. But if you can get him as your RB2, maybe you went running back, receiver, and then get him in the third or fourth as your secondary running back, I love that. I do, because I think it's just going to be massive opportunity for him. Again, they paid his ass. They're going to work his ass off. And so for me, man, I think that we're going to see some interesting stuff. Now, is his ceiling what we saw with Ashton Genty last year? Knowing that really what with Geno Smith's play, is that kind of what it is? If that's the case, running back 2 is great. I don't see any issue with that, right? If we're speaking freely here. But if your expectation is what his rookie year was, I think you're sorely mistaken. So really level set your expectations here. But for me, man, I think you're right. It's Garrett Wilson. But I'm also interested in Breece Hall as my running back too.
Yeah, Breece Hall, it just seems to me, in all the mock drafts, I just skip over his name.
Yeah.
I just skip over him. And let's look at who's around him right now in ADP, because ADP is changing a bit now that it's August.
Yep.
So when we get to this round and you're looking at the 3-4 turn basically for Breece
literally.
Hall. So I mean, running back 1, I hate it. I hate it. It's not happening for me, man. It's not. In fact, I hate it as my running back 2. That's kind of why I skip over him every time. So you're looking at that range. You've got running backs as far as he's right after Josh Jacobs and Javonte Williams. Yeah, I'm taking both of those guys over Breece Hall.
Yeah.
What about after him currently, though? You've got Cam Scatterboo, Travis Achane Jr. I mean, I'm not taking Breece Hall over those two guys. How do you feel on that?
See, I'm opposite. I'm taking Breece Hall over both of those guys. But here's what's interesting. I'm taking Quinshawn over both of those guys, who's actually also behind them in ADP. So for me, man, how I would look at this personally is when you look at these tiers, it's Omarion Hampton, Derrick Henry, Kyron Williams, Josh Jacobs. Guys, that's good. That's gold. Live in there. Javonte Williams is one. I'm with you. I'm taking Javonte over him, but I actually struggle with it a bit because I'm not sure if Javonte's was a one-year wonder or if it actually is who he was when he was at UNC. So,
let me help you with that.
Go ahead.
I got this one for you. Let me help you with that, okay?
Hit me with it.
Yeah, so other teams, if they're like, hey, is Javonte Williams a one and done? Do I take Breece Hall? If you're looking at a would you rather between those two guys, here's what's very simple for me. I take every single time, 10 out of 10 times will be Javonte Williams. And the reason is it's a better offense, you guys. They're going to have much more scoring opportunities with they have 2 number 1 receivers on this team. Dak Prescott, Turd Ferguson. This team's going to score a lot. It's still one of the best offenses in the league. They're going to have many, many more red zone opportunities. That's Javonte Williams.
Yeah.
Javonte Williams only has Jaden Blue in the backfield with him. Nobody's competing with him in this backfield. So I see it as a very easy decision just because you're going to have more opportunity to score. Breece Hall's going to really struggle to get in the end zone, man. They're not going to have a ton of goal line opportunities. Breece Hall, I haven't seen Breece Hall run in a swing pass or a running play from 20 yards out in a very long time. So I don't expect that to happen. So for me, that's an easy transition over to Javonte Williams. Now, where it gets more difficult is as you go down a little bit, and you look at guys like DeAndre Swift or David Montgomery. Quinshawn is in that next tier there as well. Bucky. Yeah. Now, if we're looking at comparing Bucky Irving, to a Breece Hall, then that's where I go Breece Hall. But really, the reason why I skip over him most of the time is because of the receivers that are around him. When you're drafting in that 3-4
Yeah.
turn, right around that range, I'm always going receiver. It's Zay Flowers. 100 times out of 100, I'm taking Zay Flowers over Breece Hall. Malik Neighbors, I'll be testing those waters. And
Definitely.
I'm too tempted to jump on Malik Neighbors than settle for Breece Hall. I mean, that's just how I function. And then later in the draft, we talked about you could grab a Jordan Mason. You can grab a J.K. Dobbins.
You can grab an Aaron Jones.
You can grab an Aaron Jones, you know? Yeah, are these guys going to be that much worse than Breece Hall? I don't think so. I really, really don't.
To your point, real quick here, with the touchdowns, when you brought up Javonte Williams, man, nailed it. I started pulling it up, and I'm like, okay, I want to actually see what he did. Guys, he only had 4 rushing touchdowns last year. And then he also only had 1 receiving touchdown. So exactly
Who's that,
to your
Breece
point,
Hall?
Breece Hall. So if they're not close to the goal line, he's not getting in. And so, man, I just had to call it out because you're exactly right. You actually helped with a decision that I am actively looking at between the two, and I am going to be going Javonte Williams over that at Breece Hall.
Yeah, and then real quick, I mean, looking at Javonte Williams, he had 11 touchdowns last year.
11 touchdowns.
I mean, come on, that's not anywhere even in the realm of possibility for Breece Hall this year.
No.
It's just not with that quarterback play and the offense they have around him. He had 11 touchdowns, 1,200 yards. I mean, this is the fact that Breece Hall is next to Javonte Williams, I think is absurd. I think it's ridiculous.
I agree.
Yeah. All right, good. I'm glad we could settle that, Frank, and glad I can help you out a little bit.
I'm serious.
All right, let's touch base. This is going to be quick now. We've spent way too much time on these quarterbacks, but we're so excited to talk about everybody in these offenses that we can't wait. All right, we got another one here, Frank. Kirk Cousins, okay? Kirk Cousins taking his ice, going from the Falcons to the Raiders. Perfect. You know, I love it. Kirk Cousins and Fernando Mendoza in the backfield or in the quarterback room here. I wonder what they do. Do you think they like hold hands and like do a prayer before they go out? Or
I bet they're like cutting with swords, like samurai swords, like fucking watermelons and shit. You know what
I
mean?
I don't think it's like that. I think it's like an acoustic guitar. I think he comes in with like a ukulele and he's like, Fernando, all right, here we're gonna get our chi and our aura set. We're gonna tell, by the way, you look great today. Did anybody ever tell you that today? You look wonderful. Yeah, I guarantee it's the nicest, like correspondence between quarterbacks ever. All right, let's not spend a ton of time here. Kirk Cousins probably will start. I mean, it doesn't sound like that's a done deal either. I think Fernando could potentially take this job in August, but let's see what happens. Is there any Kirk Cousins is not going to be drafted. There's no reason to think you want him on your team. It's not like he's jumping into an amazing Raiders offense. He's not starting the first 3 weeks for the Chiefs. This is the Raiders, right? You're not starting him, but what do we do? How does this affect, if anything? I mean, are you just looking at Kirk Cousins when you're drafting the other pieces around, like Gentry and Bowers, because that's probably all you're really drafting this team? Does it affect you who starts immediately in the season at all?
Guys, John, the one guy, take Gentry even off the table. For me, man, it's Bowers. Look at what Kirk Cousins has done to tight ends. Look at what he did when he stepped in last year with Kyle Pitts. Look at what he's done with TJ Hockenson. Look at his track record with tight ends. Guys, that is absolutely something. So for me, man, look, I know you're a Trey McBride guy. I know we go back and forth a little bit on tight end 1. Man, I got to be honest. I'm leaning Brock Bowers as tight end 1 this year because I think that the opportunity is so there. You know what I mean?
I'm with you. The difference is there are a few receivers in Arizona that can catch the ball. Yeah, and I'm expecting Marv to have a better season. I'm expecting to see a bounce back. Year 3 breakout, I think is real possible for Marv. I just don't see that on this Raiders team. There's not a receiver out there that I think is. I love Trey Tucker. Brother, I love you. We got to get you on the podcast. Yeah, I love you, man. But there's not that threat on the outside, and they didn't help you out. You got Jalen Naylor coming in. He'll be serviceable, I think, but it's going to be the Brock Bowers show, dude. I'm with you. I think the volume he's going to get is going to be absurd. Now,
John, the question is, where are you willing to take Bowers? So knowing that Kirk Cousins is actually going to be, let's just assume he's at the helm and looking at then the overarching overall ADP. I mean, you're going to have to take him in round 2, realistically.
It's the 2-3 turn. It's the 2-3 turn.
Are you willing to do that?
I'm personally not likely. Yeah, I just don't. It's very rare that I grab one of those round 2, round 3 tight ends. It's rare.
Yeah.
Now, I did in a 14-team league that's a keeper. I did get McBride last year in the 3rd, and guess what? He's my keeper. Because in our league with keepers, he's going to end up going in the first round 1-2 turn.
Totally.
So that I did do, but typically in a regular 12-team league, it's too difficult for me to jump up and grab these guys. You have to change your mindset because you are going to sacrifice around 2 or 3 running back or receiver. And those guys are gold. Okay. They're few and far between. After round 3 drops, it's a massive, massive drop off. So you are going to not like your running back or receiver, one of those 2 groups that you're going to have if you take Bowers in the 2nd or 3rd like that. But you have to look at it differently. The way you can justify it to yourself is that you're not grabbing a tight end. You're grabbing a receiver 1. You're grabbing a top 10 receiver, so that when you start to look at it that way and say, oh, I'm getting a stud receiver that I just happen to be putting in my tight end spot. When you look at it that way, it changes things, but it will make you feel a little gross with one of your running back or receiver positions. That's just how it works. Same thing when you take Josh Allen in the 2nd round. Yeah. It's just going to hurt you in some area. But if you can be smart about it, guys, like we talked about, this is why we do the show. This is why we do mock drafts. When you know you can get running backs late, find some guys late that'll make you feel cozy. Because one of those positions, receiver or running back, is going to be weak if you're taking Bowers in the 2nd. Plan ahead. Look for guys like J.K. Dobbins. Look for guys like Jordan Mason. Guys that you can have as your 3rd running. Basil Tootin, I love him. We're going to get into Basil Tootin at some point in a mock draft because I'm targeting his ass for sure. Yeah. But know where those guys are in the draft so it'll make you feel, hey, I can take Bowers here.
I'm not
because
shitting. Yeah.
I'm missing out on Josh Jacobs. I'm missing out on Devon Achane.
Kyren Williams,
that's a really good tier. That's why it's hard for me to take Bowers because that's an excellent tier to have as a running back 1 or 2 to really anchor your team. But just know later there are options. So don't freak out. But yeah, it does make it hard though. I agree. All right, let's move on here. Now we'll just touch base on a couple of guys here, Frankie. Justin Fields, we have to bring him up because he's now on the Chiefs. He's their QB2. The only reason we're bringing him up here, Frankie, is because it's a little unsure. Patrick Mahomes seems to be on target, seems to be looking good. But is he going to play week 1, week 2? He could miss a week or 2 here. Yeah. What are you thinking about Justin Fields if that happens?
Guys, look, if your drafts are bleeding right up until the first week, you're going to have a really clear picture as to what's going to happen with Patrick Mahomes. If he truly needs to sit out 1 or 2 weeks, guys, I'm absolutely drafting in a 2-quarterback league Justin Fields. And it will be with my last pick of the entire draft. Why not? If for some reason Patrick Mahomes, God forbid, gets hurt again during this season, they're going to need somebody to bring the juice and whatnot perfect from a fantasy football perspective. We're not talking NFL X's and O's, talking fantasy. That rushing floor is as sexy as it gets, just about, outside of really Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson, maybe Jaden Daniels if he's healthy. So for me, man, I mean, there is opportunity for Justin Fields in a 2-quarterback league if Patrick Mahomes is not playing. So I want to be crystal clear, but we had to call it out because he's a very enticing backup.
Well, let me be crystal clear after I just pulled up the schedule. Okay. Mahomes needs to miss 3 to 4 weeks for Justin Fields to be relevant because week 1 is Denver. You're not starting Justin Fields.
Oh, God.
No. So I just completely changed my mind about Justin Fields. You're not ever going to throw him out there playing Denver.
Yeah, that's gross.
You're just not. But week 2 is Indy. Then you've got Miami and Las Vegas. Now, if Patrick Mahomes needs to miss a month for some reason, streaming quarterback-wise, Justin Fields, there are worse options than him being at Miami or at Las Vegas. So just keep that in mind. All right, a couple other quarterbacks here just to let you know who some of the backups are that have moved around. Mitch Trubisky, Mitch the Bitch, he's in Tennessee, backing up Cam Ward. Gardner Minshew is interesting at the Cardinals because Gardner Minshew is a serviceable quarterback.
Yeah.
He can provide value to your receivers and tight ends. So if he does have to play in Arizona, I don't hate it. I don't hate it for McBride, and I don't hate it for Marv. So you don't have to worry about the quarterback if something happens there. Same with, you got Kenny Pickett with the Panthers. Teddy Bridgewater with the Lions, same thing. And the only reason I'm bringing that up, if something happened to Goff, I think Teddy Bridgewater would be fine. I don't think it's going to kill you on Amon-Ra, and it's not going to kill you on Jahmyr Gibbs. So I wouldn't worry about that. It might kill you with J-Mo, but, keep that in mind. All right, Frank, let's get to some tight ends here. We got a couple of guys to talk about, really just 2 that I want to touch base with. First one is Isaiah Likely. Yeah, you got to talk about this guy, man, because I think he's an absolute gem. Late round gem that you could look at, a sleeper, if you will, for tight end. going from Baltimore, which we've seen him pop at Baltimore when Mark
Definitely.
Andrews didn't play. Isaiah Likely was way the more athletic tight end on that team. Now Isaiah Likely's with the Giants. All right. You got Jackson Dart, you got Cam Scat, you got Malik Neighbors slowly, by the way, coming back to life. Talk about Isaiah Likely. I think you and I both are a little bit in love with where he's being drafted right now.
Guys, if you decide to not draft a tight end,
Punt.
you don't go some of the big guys, you punt, and you're like, I don't want to necessarily stream, but I want to set and forget it at least early on and see what happens. This is your guy.
Agreed.
Guys, John Harbaugh came over, signed him immediately, 3-year, $40 million, $26 million guaranteed. Gut check. You don't do that if he is not a serious piece of this offense, and he's not a blocking tight end. He is a full-blown receiving tight end. Guys, last year, he even had a shitty year. He only had 36 targets, 27 receptions, 300 yards receiving, and 1 touchdown. But his average depth of target was 8.5 yards. That's mind-blowing. So for me, guys, he's sitting at tight end 12. That's 101 overall. What put yourself in this scenario. You get your quarterback. You got a stable of running backs. You have 4 super stud receivers. And now you're looking at the tight end position. And it really is Isaiah Likely. You may be looking at Turd Ferguson. You may be looking at Hunter Henry. Some of these guys. For me, man, it's Isaiah Likely with a freaking bullet here. I mean, Jackson Dart, what he was able to do with Theo Johnson last year. And now you're telling me you have Isaiah Likely with a banged up Neighbors who's coming along slowly with a Darnell Mooney they just signed. For me, guys, he's the perfect outlet, not only for the Giants, but also for your fantasy team. He's somebody absolutely, John, I'm targeting.
I am too. I am too. Absolutely. Especially when you have Malik Neighbors. The reports aren't great. He's the one guy coming back from injury where the reports are not real good, so they're going to need some receiving options there. And I think Isaiah Likely will immediately give Jackson Dart some option. He loved Theo Johnson, and I think they will, if Malik isn't going to start the season, they will run 2 tight end sets. And You'll have both of these guys on the field where, Theo Johnson's going to be more of the blocking tight end, and Isaiah Likely absolutely will be the receiving tight end. Think about this. You mentioned John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh drafted him.
Yes.
He drafted him to bring him on, and he was the tight end 2. So you're throwing stats out there. Don't forget, Mark Andrews was the starter. Okay. This guy is super talented, so I think it's sneaky as hell to grab him at the end of your draft if you punt. If I punt on tight end, which I do a lot, I'll be honest. I really do. Isaiah Likely's one of the late round guys I'm targeting. No question about it.
John, you know what this feels like? It feels like when Dallas Goedert was on the verge of emerging.
Yeah.
That to me is what this feels like after that Zach Ertz era. And then finally Goddard got his moment. And it feels like this is that year potentially that we could see Isaiah Likely get into the top 8 in terms of tight ends. And guys, if you're telling me you can get him and literally like for nothing, I mean, why not build your team out? And at worst comes to worst, think about this. If worst comes to worst, you can always stream then tight ends. There's plenty. You can go Kenyon Sadiq.
Exactly.
You can go the back half of the guys. So man, I'm telling you, put an asterisk next to this guy when you're targeting. And if your team ends up rolling out the way we discussed, Isaiah Likely could be your guy.
Agreed. 100%. All right. Last guy, Frank, I want to touch base on here. It's Chig Okonkwo. Oh, I remember. I should have let you say it. I remember early on.
Thank you for that.
Oh, it's one of our favorite things is having Frankie try to pronounce guys' names because it's, it's so fun. It's so fun. Chig Okonkwo. All right, now was with the Tennessee Titans, and the guy's flashed. We've seen him do some good work in the past. He's had fantasy value. He's been a great streamer in the right matchups. Now he's the starter in Washington with Jaden Daniels. Interesting spot for him. Frankie, talk to us a little bit about Chig and how is that going to be, with this Washington offense? We haven't talked a lot about it. I'm nervous about the Washington offense. I don't know what to do with fantasy. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Guys, it's super interesting, right? New OC with David Blau coming in. Jaden Daniels now coming back from injury. They have Scary Terry out there, which is great. They just signed Stephon Diggs, which we called.
That's what I wanted to touch on. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, guys, with that, before Stephon Diggs came to this team, I was all over Chig. I was like, this is the guy. This is 100% the guy. With Stephon Diggs now, it makes it a little more difficult. I don't look at him the same way as what I did, and I don't look at him the same vein as what I look at Isaiah Likely, even though they're tight end 12 to tight end 16, Likely 12, Chig 16. I still think that there's a big tier. I think that there's something in between there. So for me, man, like, look, I'm still a Chig guy. This is a perfect example of that's a streaming tight end.
Yep.
Isaiah Likely is a set it and forget it early and may stream later. So there's differences here. So for me, if you go through your entire roster, add a Chig. Why not? If that's your approach, I will. I absolutely would. And then just know, okay, yeah, he's going to have a couple 2-point, 3-point games, but he might have a couple 8, 9, 10, 11, 12-point games, but it's not going to be as fruitful as what you think. So for me, be okay then with streaming and shifting him out. But for right now, man, I think as long as you build out your team, no issue drafting him, just level set expectation.
Yeah, I agree. Up until, and this was just a couple of days ago that Stephon Diggs signed. Up until then, I thought he was a late round value at tight end. But man, I got to tell you, that slot receiver like a Stephon Diggs who had 1,000 yards last year, it's going to destroy the tight end's value. It just is on this team. If they didn't have any receiving options and it was just Stephon Diggs, I'd say, wheels up for Chig, but that's not the case. They do have some really good options, and I think it's going to be tough for Chig to get any kind of volume. So real quick, just want to touch on a couple of guys that moved around here. David Njoku is with the Chargers now. Going to be out there with Gadsden. I don't think he's going to destroy Gadsden's value. I think they're going to run some double tight end. Again, another Harbaugh offense. They love to run. It's old school. They want to bring it back to the 80s. I get it. So they may run some double tight ends there. You got Daniel Bellinger with the Titans. Not really relevant. Noah Fant with the Saints. Foster Moreau with the Texans. So these are opportunities where, people get hurt. Slot guy gets hurt. Tight end gets hurt. Good streaming option. Those guys could be out there for you. All right, Frank, that is the quarterback, tight end, new faces in new places. Guys, I know we were trying to give value with some of these just not players you're super excited about, but we wanted to be able to talk about the teams and the offenses around them as well. But don't you worry, because it gets exciting real soon. We got running backs and receivers coming, and ooh, child, there's some good ones there. We're going to love it, man. Frankie, what is going on? What's happening moving forward here in August?
Guys, it's Mock Draft Central. We say it every episode. We are here.
Let's
go.
It is
August. Drafts are happening in the next 4 weeks. And guess what? Why not learn strategies from guys who are maniacally crazy and do this all the time, every time? And guys, literally, I said it before and I'll say it again. Over 121 mock drafts I've been able to do. Johnny's been mocking like crazy. So guys, check them out. Give us some feedback. Let us know what's going on, what you want to see, and we'll be happy to do it. And don't forget the rest of the episodes of New Faces and New Places. We got you covered.
Take advantage of our mental illness and autism here. Frankie's literally like Rain Man. He's like Dustin Hoffman at Rain Man.
That's exactly it.
Definitely 121 mock drafts. Gotta keep going.
Exactly. And we may be doing a few today. Who knows? I don't know.
We're going to pump them out for you guys here in August. We know that those are the most fun episodes. We get to see all the stats. We see it, though. People love watching that. So we'll try a bunch of different strategies. Hey, send us a message. Let us know, where are you drafting from? Yeah. What do you want us to do? Do you want us to mimic your league? We'll do that. So send us a comment. Let us know. Frankie, anything else, baby?
No, sir.
All right, let's do it, baby. May the fantasy gods smile upon you. Bye.